relationships, but you're wrong. Listen, there's no magic bullet. I'm teaching life skills.
When you're sick, you need medicine. It don't always taste good, but it'll get you better. You need this medicine. It ain't gonna always taste good, but this is what you need. Men and women, bottom line, we need to have the conversation. Your partner wants to give up control, but only if you know how to drive. This is about being the best you could ever be, whoever you are. I don't care if you're a man, a woman, LGBTQ, space aliens. I'll save anybody. I don't care. I'll teach a hedgehog how to have a threesome.
What do you mean by that?
Look, you don't have to listen to me, but you're wrong.
Listen, I know I'm great. And I know you're thinking, Dante, there's no way I could be like you. But you could be me, you know why?
Because you know who I was? Before I was me, I was you.
Man score 202.
Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't.
Yo. What up?
The Sexual Revolution being podcasted, and I am excited. What's going on? Ready to rock and roll. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and all the fathers that are acting like mothers. Today we are live on all platforms that we can think of. YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, X, you name it, we on it. So thanks for coming out, y'all. I'm a little late, had a little technical difficulties with the internet, had to stop and restart the live. But we here. Not too late, just in time. What's going on? I'm feeling good. I mean, missing my mom. My mom passed in 2016. But, you know, I'm lucky. I'm a lucky dude. Let me do this. Let me put the, before we start, just keep in mind, let's see. Don't forget the Patreon, y'all. The Patreon, if y'all get a chance and y'all want bonus content, technique, and game, y'all can hit me on that. If through the course of the day you think I'm helping you and you could help and support the show, just cash at me at $ Dante Nero, DANTE. Let me also put the number up, man. Let's do that. Most importantly for the call-ins. Call-in number 929-269-4922. Y'all can call in. You know how we do. I didn't check the number, but we haven't been having problems with the phones, so I'm excited about that as well. So there's that. Everybody hear me well? Please. I'm in the chat, in the comments. Give me a thumbs up if I'm sounding good. I got a new mic today. I didn't put it on, but I got a new mic. That I'm gonna, nice wireless, gives me a little more mobility, so I'm excited about that. Good to be back, man. Been doing a lot of consultations. Thumbs up. Yes, Trey, thank you. Jonathan, thank you. All the people in the chat, things are growing, numbers are growing, people are checking it out. Let me put the banner underneath. Yeah, I mean, everybody goes. Nobody gets out of this thing alive. You know what I mean? I always say that. Nobody gets out of this thing. Don't forget the cash app with us. Where's the banner? The banner. I'm looking for the banner. There it is. 929. ... Let's see. Yeah. Questions, call in 929-269-4922. Be concise. Feeling good, man. It's funny. I was hanging out with my boy Cypher Sound yesterday. Cypher Sound, y'all know the legendary hip hop DJ. Done a lot of dope shit for a lot of dope people. Actually hooked up. Actually had some. He's one of those dudes that hooked up, connected a lot of people, and I counsel him from time to time because that's what I do. We were doing it over dinner. We was at the Stand Comedy Club, one of the clubs that don't book me. Shout out to them. Fuck you fingers to that. I wish I had a big fuck you finger. But anyway, yeah, it was funny because he was playing dominoes. It was an interesting story. He was playing dominoes. I don't know if anybody plays dominoes or knows how to play dominoes, please give me a thumbs up in the comments so that so I know I'm just not talking out the side of my ass. Now, I'm not a huge domino player, but I get the gist of the games. I don't play a lot of games. It's not usually my forte, if you will. And what's interesting is that, anybody that plays dominoes, I didn't see if anybody said they played dominoes. Doesn't even matter. I'm going to tell the story anyway. But anybody that plays dominoes, I was watching them play dominoes, and it was really interesting to me because who we are as people is consistent. Y'all have heard me say before, yes, the bones. Thanks, Michael. Who we are is learn how to play. I know, Jonathan, dudes be serious about throwing bones. They be serious. Like playing spades and throwing bones. You can't be not knowing what you're doing, especially if you're playing partners. You could get murdered. People take them games seriously. But let me just, my point. The general consensus and those who play dominoes is that you get rid of the big numbers, right? Because as you play the game, whatever you're left with in your hand, right? Your opponent, the points go to your opponent. I believe I'm correct at that. Yes? He wasn't slamming them on the table. He was playing the white version of dominoes. He's playing a cute little white girl. Shout out to Sophie. Sophie was adorable. And a lot of times, Syph will tell me that, he doesn't, and I've said this to him, I've said this to a lot of guys, he doesn't take up space for a guy who in general is a pretty extraordinary dude. I mean, Cypher Sound was around with Biggie Smalls, and Jay-Z got his contract. He connected rappers and hip hop people together. So he has a really extensive, a really super extensive kind of repertoire that he really shouldn't be, how should I put it, shy about what his repertoire is, if that makes sense. But he was playing the game. I'm trying to explain this so it makes sense to the listeners. He's playing the game, but he was playing the game as if in the future. Like, so if he had a bunch of ones or he had a bunch of fives, he would hold them. And then his strategy was like, okay, I'm going to keep the fives. And then I'm going to just be able to, that when you get trumped out in a particular number, I'll be able to play all my fives. So I'll keep them, which is not necessarily. Richard Alegria, thank you, man. Thanks for the Cash App. I appreciate you, brother. I hope you in the chats, Rich. I hope you are. I know you're listening, but I hope you're in the chat. Give me a thumbs up if you're in the chat. I appreciate you with the Cash App. Let me say this also. So what he would do is he would play his card, he would play his bones, but he would play them with this intention on what was going to happen as the game progressed. And I was thinking to myself, man, he plays like he approaches women. Sort of like, I have a particular idea how this is going to work. I have a plan how this is going to work out. And then as I have this plan that's working out. I'm gonna play and hope that things go that way. When if you look at any like YouTube tutorials, anybody will teach you, you got to get rid of the big numbers. There's an element of luck in dominoes, as well as there's an element of skill, but you can't anticipate what somebody's going to do. You have to, people are going to do what they want to do, and sure, they will do what they want to do. Sometimes that you can affect them by the decisions that you make, but overall people are going to do what they want to do. And what he would do is he kept playing, and then he would get stuck with all these fives in his hand, right? Because he wouldn't play them, and because in his mind, I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to trump out because I got all these fives, right? And I'm looking at his hand, and I say, look, man, you got to get rid of them big numbers. You can't assume that things are going to play out the way you're going to play out. You got to play the game strategically, but you also have to understand that you deserve to be in the game. I guess what I'm saying is you have to have a strategy. There's a strategy, but not a strategy. Something that I say all the time is the real game is no game. And what I mean by that is what I teach on this live, on my all of my content, is that real game is no game. There is no technique, for lack of a better word. You got to actually be the guy that you say you are. Doesn't matter what anybody says or what, you're going to be questioned, and you're going to be questioned about what you are, how you approach things. That you're going to be approached in that way, and you're going to have to live up to that. When there's no congruency about who you say you are, I promise you will get exposed. And as you get exposed, you won't end up in the situation that you think you're in. You're not going to be able to trump. They're going to trump fives, and then you're going to just play it. Life just doesn't happen that way. But so you can't control what people do. But what you can do at your best case scenario is for you to prepare for adaptation. Your ability to adapt to things as the geography changes, as the weather changes, as the sentiment changes, is the thing that makes you most successful. Anytime you're not approaching any problem in that way, as if things could change, that's when you get caught. Flat-footed, and you can't move. You got to adapt, and the only way that you can adapt is you have to honestly be willing to practice to be adaptable. You have to practice moving and shaking, and I'm a big fan. Anybody listens to the show knows I'm a big boxing fan, and I remember Felix Trinidad was a hot number at one time, and he was going to fight Bernard Hopkins, and I remember thinking that, man, Felix Trinidad is a great boxer, but his inability to fight going backwards, his inability to have lateral movement, he was very good at what he did, but he was limited in what he did, and that's why Bernard Hopkins knocked him out. If you don't believe me, YouTube it when we get off this live, and you'll see that Bernard Hopkins used to make a lot of great boxers look bad. And that was because he was always able to adapt and make whatever the person was doing, he was able to adapt. And if you have in your mind already, this is I'm going to do this, they're going to do this. What happens when that changes? What happens when that becomes a situation that's not tenable and you have to change? Now you're caught flat-footed and you don't know what to do. Now you're stunned. You got to be able to adapt, and the only way you can adapt is really by spending time understanding the fundamentals. And so, when it comes to this relationship thing, and it comes to women, it comes to social dynamics, the only way you have to be good on your basics. And let's be clear about what the basics are. The basics is start with your self-esteem, with your confidence. And the only way that you can have confidence is that you have to feel as though you are a viable entity. We got calls. I'm gonna bring him in, uh and then I'm gonna finish this statement as soon as we hold on. Hello?
Hello, hey Dante, how you been?
Who am I speaking with?
Hey, this is Jonathan calling from Miami.
Hey Jonathan, what's going on? Give me 1 second. Let me just finish this thought. Your
Sure, no problem.
ability to adapt is what makes you what makes you the ability to adapt makes your the possibility of you getting the outcome that you want. And if you're not confident about yourself, if you're not working on being the best version of yourself and you question what your value is, you're always gonna lose because you're gonna get caught flat-footed. Jonathan, what's going on? Thanks for calling in, man. What's going on? How you feeling today?
Hey, I'm doing good, Dante. How you been?
I'm good. I'm good. How can I
Uh,
help you, brother?
eh, hey, Dante, you hit it right on when we were talking about the fundamental and not following ACE
Yeah.
and all that. Dante, I messed up, man. I need your guidance.
Okay. Talk to me.
Um, there's
Now,
this.
wait.
Okay,
Stop.
there's this.
Let's put a
Yeah.
pin in it. First of all, I want to say I forgive you. Okay. I want to say that I forgive you. I don't think as men we say that enough. Um, I understand that we are pursuing perfection, but understand, I don't know if you know what I say about perfection. Perfection is something that we pursue every day, even though we know that there's no possibility of us ever achieving perfection. Because as we move closer to perfection, perfection moves further away from us. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Absolutely,
What do you do for a living?
absolutely.
What do you do for a living, John?
Oh, I'm currently unemployed.
Okay. So, but
Um,
what did you
uh,
do? What is your claim to fame? What's your field? What do you do?
well, I was working TSA,
Okay.
and then I had a stroke, and that kept me away from working,
Okay.
and and well, ever since, and I've been going to therapy, but ever since, but it has kept me.
How's the therapy
Um,
going?
I still need more therapy. My entire left side um is still. I mean, my entire left side was gone, but there's a few things missing. I mean, like from around my thumb and all that. But
Hmm.
I still got more therapy to go through.
All right. Well, I mean, I
Um,
want to tell you something. I find more over than not, especially men. As men, we don't take the therapies seriously, and if we really work at the therapy, we're usually surprised by all the things that can come about, all the progress. But I don't want to get into that. How can I help you, bro? Tell me.
yeah, yeah, Dante. Oh, so there's this girl. She's my neighbor, and we became good friends. And she invited me to her birthday party.
Hmm.
And she rented a boat. And she's telling me all that, and telling it told me like a week before that.
Hmm.
And on the day of the party, and then I called her, and she told me, "Oh, listen, all the friends are canceling, and I might as well cancel."
Okay.
And I'm telling her, "Hey, don't overdo it. I know it's your birthday and everything going on, and I'm being empathetic about it, and I'm letting her know, like it's gonna be all right." And she was like, "Hey, listen, you might as well cancel it." And I was on my way there, and then I went back home.
Okay.
And when and apparently she drove to Miami, and rented a boat, and got mad because I wasn't there,
Okay.
and throw a whole tantrum about it.
Okay.
And my thing is, I'm wondering if if I wasn't being empathetic enough, knowing, hey, maybe she has something going on, and because I wasn't there, and then I went back home like I didn't care because I thought it was disrespectful.
Okay. Wait.
and
Stop.
and
Stop. 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 So, do you think that this woman had that she had some kind of sexual attraction to you?
yes.
Okay. So she wanted you to
Um,
come.
c-
She started going, don't trip, whatever. And then she initiated that she might cancel the whole thing. She
yes,
said
and
she was going to cancel it. Did she say she was definitely going to cancel it?
I told her call me if you decided to cancel.
Did she call you?
No,
So then why didn't you go?
and this is why I'm being disingenuous because my ego was telling me, hey, she was being disrespectful, like because oh you called her twice and she didn't pick up, and me not being empathetic enough,
Okay, wait,
knowing,
wait, wait. Stop, stop.
hey,
Okay, I
maybe she
think
was going.
you're taking this. I want y'all to be empathetic, but I don't want you to be ridiculous, right? There's certain you can't
Yes,
read somebody's mind. Now, here's what I would say. This is not about empathy as much as it is about credibility, right? You said you were gonna go, right? If you said you were gonna
absolutely.
go, should have went. If she
Yes.
said she was gonna call you if I cancel it, and she didn't call you, why didn't you just assume that she was gonna have the party? What made you go left?
It's my ego.
Why was it your ego?
And
I'm still trying to understand why what was your ego saying? Like what was the thing that was telling you why you got mad and you didn't
because I called her twice. She was supposed to call me and tell me if she was going to be canceled, and
yeah,
I
but
called her
but
twice. She
let's
didn't
be
pick up.
clear. I mean, this is why it's important to listen. Okay? What
Yes,
did she say? She said, "If I cancel, I will call you." Right?
yes,
So if she
yes.
didn't call you, then what is the assumption? I mean, what has to be the assumption?
You're right, then.
So, but this is, I mean, you're getting caught up in all of this, all the minutia of this, and you get. First of all, here's what I want to know. If she said people are canceling, I'm not going, right? Why didn't you say, oh, you know what? If you want to cancel, I'll meet you there. If nobody shows up, you and I will have a uh you and I will have I'll take you out for your birthday. Why
I,
didn't
t-
you,
I told her that before. I told her that
no,
way
did you tell her
way
that when she
before.
was talking about canceling the show?
Yes, when the first time she mentioned canceling, I told her, hey,
That was the
go get
same
your money
day.
back
The same day.
the same day. Yes,
So
the same day. It was a few hours before.
how would you know whether she canceled if you didn't show up, pick her up, and then rescue her from this party that was?
I got yes. This is where I got mad because she didn't pick up at time.
But here's what
I
I'm saying.
assumed,
What
hey,
were you mad about? I don't understand what you were mad about. You're in your head creating a scenario that doesn't even make sense. She didn't violate anything. I mean, look, did she say I will definitely call you either way?
no,
Okay, so she said if I cancel, I'll call you, right?
yes,
And
yes,
she didn't cancel and she didn't call you. So the assumption was that you were going to be there, right?
yes,
So why
and
didn't
I
you just
messed up,
show up?
and I messed
Well,
up.
I
I
get
got
that,
tight.
but
I'm tight.
I understand that you messed up, and I'm not really holding you there. But what I'm saying, this is yes, this is ego, but this is also a case of you just not paying attention. You're not even listening. You're in your own head, in your own emotional head. First of all,
Yes,
last thing I want to do is go on a boat with some chick with a bunch of other people who is her birthday. She's not gonna have my. How much attention am I gonna get if she's throwing a party anyway? You want to be there because it's her birthday, right? But all in
yes,
all, what you ultimately want to do is get her alone. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that you took it. The second thing is that you took it. You made it personal when it wasn't personal. The
yes,
fact that she didn't. The fact that she didn't say something to you, right? Or she didn't call you, took
yes,
that personal. The fact that she was throwing a party, and as she's throwing a party, she can't pick up your phone call because she's hosting a party, which is one of the reasons why you don't why going to a party or not going to a party is not the best case scenario for you to get intimate with her in the first place, right? But so
Yeah.
there's so many mistakes here. Like I said, I forgive you as you got to forgive yourself. But
Yeah.
let's be honest. We don't. You got to pay it. You got to listen. Like one of the things about laying the 5 bricks is when I say we lay the 5 bricks, and you have to pay a compliment to 5 women a day, a truthful compliment, right? The the
Right.
the reason why it's got to be a truthful compliment is because you have to be present to make a truthful comment. You can't be in your head, nor
Observe.
you have to observe this woman, see what you can compliment, and then and that pause, that little pause that it takes you, that the caveat that I say you got to be honest. The compliment has to be honest. Is the time that you take time to be present in the moment. So often we got all these other things going on. And because we have all these other things going on, we are in a situation where we're not paying attention. If you're a guy, if you're guy, girl, or otherwise, but especially women, if you feel like you're not being heard, how does that feel? How does that feel to you? You there?
Oh yes, Dante. Yes. You
How does it feel to
and
you if you're not being heard?
you, it feels like you're not important. You're not
Right.
even
So
you're
you
not
didn't
here.
even listen to what she said. You also didn't take into consideration that she was throwing a party. You also didn't take the opportunity that if it did get canceled, you would have been right there to say, no, don't even worry about it. Well, you and I will have a great time, and it would have given you an opportunity to get closer to her, to be, might have even got laid in the process if you had just played it. But you got all in your feelings. You felt a certain kind of way, and because this is your insecurity about the fact that you don't that she because like I've said to you before, what does the ego say? The ego wants us to go, does this bitch know who the fuck does they know who I am? And it's like, stop.
uh,
What are you
yeah.
talking about? No, I don't know who
Right.
you are. I've said this 100 times. Whenever I would bounce and do become some
Yeah.
old, so you don't know who I am. No, I don't. But tell me, so I can treat you accordingly. I don't have a char-
Oh,
I don't
thank
have a
you,
I don't
Dante.
have a I don't
Yeah.
have a problem treating you accordingly. But just tell me if you the king of Siam or something. I don't know. I don't look at, I don't read the Siamese newspapers. You understand what I'm saying? So this is just
I
absurd, and you
understood.
cutting
Thank
your
you.
nose off to throw your place. Have you spoke to her since?
I haven't. Yeah, I've been Friday. So
It happened Friday.
uh,
Okay, it's Sunday,
Friday.
and you
Yeah.
haven't spoke to her yet?
I haven't spoke to her yet. I needed to call you and
Okay, so
get
you
it off
call
my
her, you
chest
call
first.
her up and say,
And
listen, I misunderstand. You go, listen. The reality is that I really, this is how you flip this whole thing. Okay, so I'm gonna show you that even when so listen to this, listen to this. All the people listening, there are no mistakes. Even the mistakes can be made. Can wrap into it. This is what you say. You paying attention?
yes,
Listen,
Dante. I'm
listen.
taking notes.
All right, listen. You go. Honestly, I got in my feelings because I was calling you. I was worried about what happened. I was calling you and you didn't pick up the phone, and I got in my feelings because I really like you, and I felt uh, kind of forgotten and neglected, and I let my feelings get in the way. What I would really like it is if we could go out and I do something special for you, and then we can make it up. Now, have you gone out on a date with her yet?
No.
Okay, so this is your end. You gotta listen. To be
Yeah.
honest, you say, to be honest, to be really honest, I got caught up in my feelings. I really didn't realize how much I like you. And the fact that I was calling you and that we were talking about it, and and I got in my feelings. I got angry because I thought you were not calling me back. And I just want to say it was wrong. I shouldn't have. I was in my head, and I should have taken into consideration that I was being empathetic. I wasn't being empathetic to what your situation is because I was so focused on how much I like you. What I would really like to do is take you out and do something special, just you and I, which is honestly what I would really prefer doing anyway. Sound good?
Amazing. Thank you, Dante. Oh my God,
All
you're
right.
amazing. I needed that.
All
Yeah, I needed that. Thank you.
right. And never let
Oh,
it was.
RP.
That's right, Matt.
Thank
Matt,
you.
tell him never let feelings have a seat at the table.
Have a seat at the
All
table.
right,
Yes.
brother. All right, brother.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for calling.
Dante.
All right.
Peace.
All right, brother. Later. Somebody just called. Call back. I was just finishing it out. I mean, understand this. This thing, it's easy. It's easy in the context of oh God, it's not coming up. I don't know what's going on. Call me back. I don't know why this is not ringing. It's not showing up on the thing. But just whoever's calling right now, call back. Hang up and call back. Hang up and call back, and I'll get you. God damn, I can't even cut off the noise. Jeez. Yeah, call back again. I couldn't. I didn't. It didn't show up on the on the screen. I'm sorry. But yeah, so you got to understand that there's never a mistake. There's even when you think there's a mistake, there's a, because your vulnerability in a situation that your vulnerability in a situation sometimes is people you the exposure. Sterling, thank you for the super chat, bro. The fact that you expose yourself. Why is this not coming? Ah, shit. Here we go with the goddamn phone. All right, listen. I'm gonna shut the phones down and then reset again. I don't know what the hell is going on. It's driving me crazy. It's not showing up. Let me reset. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can call that number back. 57. Yeah. It's weird. It's not. Yeah. Let me see if I could call him back. Hello. Hold on. Hello? Who am I speaking with? Hello? 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 Who am I speaking with? Call back again, family. I'm trying to get this popping, so let's see if I can call this back. Let's call. You know what? Let me shut the phones down and then I'll bring them back up. Sometimes that acts like, okay, something's coming. I don't know. Phones are acting weird. Okay. Come on. Okay.
To accept, press 1.
Hello, who am I speaking with? Hello? Hello, who am I speaking with? Hello, who am I speaking with? Shit. Come on, man. Post the chat. Ringing microphone. I don't know why I can't pick up the phone. You know what? Let me shut the phones down and then give me a second and I'm gonna deal with Sterling. I know Sterling just sent me a $10 super chat. So let me. Okay, maybe this will work. Let's see. I'm sorry about the phones, but it's just acting weird right now. Let's see.
Accept, press 1. To send a voice.
Hello, who am I speaking with?
Hey man, could I keep it as that?
What's going on?
Anonymous?
Who's this?
Hi, can you hear me?
Can you? Yeah, I can hear you. Who am I speaking with? Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, who am I speaking with?
You're speaking to. Could I keep it as anonymous?
I can. Yeah, you can keep it anonymous. Where you calling from?
Calling from America right now.
Okay, what's going on? How can I help you, bro?
And then listen, so I just got recently married, 29th of February.
You just
That's
got
leap
married
year.
on the 29th of February. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So I only got to spend about every 4 years. Put
Okay.
that aside.
All right.
So I was calling, in fact, because there's some things that have come up. So after we got married on the 29th of February,
Mm-hmm.
before the relationship even, there were things coming up.
Okay.
But I kept telling myself that I was strong enough to where,
Okay.
just pull it off.
All right. So what were the problems coming up?
Well, the problems coming up were when we first initially got into even the relationship, I said I needed two things from her: absolute honesty and don't waste my time.
Okay.
And it turns out that there were lies that I was finding out. We'd be working together. We live in the
I
same
would I
apartment
would
complex.
imagine that before you married her, there were lies that were coming out. Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. So why'd you marry her?
In all honesty, I thought that there'll be a time where I can get over these lies. I'd be stoic enough to get over these
What kind of
lies and we'll
lies?
get married.
What kind of lies are we talking about?
So, for example, just one that was major for me. I'd be at work and there'd be jokes flying around, Then I'd come in just maybe 2-3 minutes late or someone was asking about me. And there'd be jokes flying around like, hey, yo, don't be like that. Don't do that now. Because if you know,
What do you mean? Jokes like
if
what?
you don't,
Jokes like what?
yeah, jokes like, hey, don't do what you're doing, like maybe being late for 5 minutes because, there was a relationship she had previously where she was with that guy who was always late and he got fired and sent back home.
Okay, but what's that got to do with? That's what that got to do with you. Was she
So with me, it
participating
would
in
be,
those jokes?
nah, she wasn't participating. I'd
That's
hear them on the
irrelevant.
side.
What lies did she tell you that were what was going on with her that was a red flag to you?
All right, okay.
I need you.
For
You
me,
got
it
to be
would be,
brief. You got to move this along. So I don't. I this.
yeah, absolutely,
I'm gonna
absolutely,
ask you the
absolutely,
questions that I think is pertinent because I understand that
absolutely,
you're emotionally attached to this thing, but everybody else isn't, and I want to get to as many people as I can. So what did she say?
absolutely
What was a
right.
lie that you thought was where was that you found offensive?
First, I hit her up and she said she wasn't seeing anyone. I said, okay, no stress, that we can work something and see if we like each other or not. Turns
Now,
out
when
she
she
was seeing
said
someone else.
when I'm not seeing anybody, was she saying I'm not seeing anybody seriously, or she said I'm not seeing anyone?
She said, I'm not seeing anyone.
Anyone. And
I'm
did you
not seeing no one.
clarify that?
Completely clarified that.
You said so you're not seeing nobody. You verbally
You're
said
not
that.
seeing nobody.
Okay. And
That's
then you
right.
found out she was.
And I found out she was.
Okay. So here's a situation where somebody is clearly showing you who she is. She's lying, right? What makes you think that she's not going to be a liar?
See, I call her that all the time, but deep down, if I think about it, I'm trying to be as brief as possible. But truly, I was thinking to myself, she is that and she'll be that. And I thought maybe if it was just enough for me to make her understand that she could lose me.
Yeah,
But I
but
also,
you got to understand that her lying has nothing to do with who you are. Her lying has to do with who she is as a person.
that's right.
So what you're basically saying is that I am a person who's gonna make her be somebody who she's not. And how's that working out?
Well, you can't build a bulb with a human being, so that's
So I
not
mean,
working
if
out
she,
at
I
all.
mean, if she's dishonest, she's dishonest. Then you have to decide when. I mean, especially when we're talking early on in this marriage. Do y'all have kids?
No kids. 29th February recently, and now she's away back in her home country for 6 months before I see her after 6 months. But I'm going through some things right now, turmoil-wise, and realizing I even let go of myself. I'm not even confident and, the self-esteem in myself. I don't do the same things I was doing.
Okay,
That and
so
God
let me
told
ask
me.
you this: how many other lies other than that was? So she was seeing somebody, and then you found out she was seeing. Was there any other lies that she was telling?
Yeah, she was saying, I've never been with anyone at work and I don't want to do that shit. That's why
Okay,
she didn't want to be with
okay.
me after
So
that. But it
okay,
turns out she was with someone. She
all
felt
right. So
someone
here you got you.
at work.
How many of these situations are gonna come up when you realize what? So this is a real. And don't get me wrong. I'm not belittling your emotional connection to this. I don't want you to think that, but I'm just saying that it's just obvious to me that she was lying. She showed you she was lying. She showed you once. She showed you twice. You moved on because probably because you wanted her, and because you wanted her, or you liked her, or you cared about her enough that you thought that you could move on with this, and ultimately you're not. She's away. Get the marriage annulled before it's too late. And then book a consultation so we can get your self-esteem back, because this is going to be a blow to your self-esteem and how you value yourself 100%, no matter any way you put it. Number one, because you believed you fooled yourself into believing something that wasn't the case. Now you got some woman and she's in another country. If she was lying to you before, there's no reason for you to think she's not lying to you now. Who knows what she
She'll
was?
come back.
Yeah, but who knows what she's doing in her own home country? Where's she from?
As She's from Europe, Romania.
Yeah, dog. You're this is a bad situation. And you got to understand, if honesty is one of your non-negotiables, you've already negotiated it. So you literally put yourself in a position where this will happen, and it
Yeah,
will continue. It will continue to happen throughout this
yeah.
relationship, and it will only get worse. So I understand that this is fresh, and whatever it is, this is fresh. But at least if you're willing to walk away from this, and you're willing to say, listen, I don't trust you, I want to get this annulled, right? Then at least if she does see what your value is, she will do everything in her power to keep you and work her way back. If she doesn't do that, then you know she wasn't down in the first place.
What would be an example of her showing that she wants
You
it
know what
away
it
from me
is.
for 6 months?
You don't have to. I don't. You don't have to ask me that. You know what it is. She would be upfront about everything. She would give you the honesty about things that she doesn't have to give the honesty. She would be cooking and cleaning and taking care of you. She would. You got to understand something. When people are not working to make you, she clearly knows that you're unhappy about what's going on. Right?
Well,
You made it clear that you're unhappy about this. Yes.
many times, and it's always a promise of, listen, I'll work on it, I'll
Okay.
show
And
you.
so and how old is she?
26, I'm
So,
29.
okay, so here's what I would say to you is, do you think that a 26-year-old person doesn't know how to act honestly?
Nah, I never bought it. I'd always tell her
I mean,
that you're over that.
she's a grown ass woman, so she knows that's how to be forthright and upfront. And if you're important enough, she will do everything in her power to make you feel as though you can trust her. And if she doesn't do that, then she doesn't care to. She's going to keep playing games. You got
How
me?
could she do that away for the 6 months right now? Yeah, I get you. How could she do that where I can see that?
Well, she's got to come back to do that.
Well, okay. So it's only after 6 months. That's what I'm saying. The experience is going to be for 6 months, not seeing her.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't see why this is. Does she have a citizenship, or does she get citizenship by marrying you?
Nah, none of us have citizenship. We do a visa program,
Okay.
just out of country work. So she's
All
out
right.
for
Well,
6 months, then she'll come back.
I think you then if you think that this is something that's worth seeing it out when she comes back, you got to break it off. Um, and if you break it off, you'll see what her response is. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you are in
I
a
get you. I get
if
you.
you and I, so let's take sex out of it, marriage was. Let's say you and I are best of friends. And I go, man, you did some real dirty shit, yo. I can't fuck with you no more. And you said to me, man, I'm really sorry, man. I apologize. Just give me an opportunity to to show you that I'm a good friend, and that I'm worth, that the friendship is worth time. And then what would you do? You would make every effort to to
I
show
tell
me
her.
that you're trustworthy, right? You might get me tickets for a fight. You might, yo, this is my man, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? You would put time and energy, because and when it comes to honesty, you would break your neck to be honest, right? So when you're asking me as if you don't know what trustworthiness looks like. You know what untrustworthy looks like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the opposite of that. You feel me? I mean, I
I
just
feel
don't. I really don't see that. Like this is already a shit. The relationship. First of all, y'all are both pretty young. Even at 29,
correct.
you're a young dude. I can't imagine why you would be locking yourself down and not exploring things and getting your doing things that you want to do the way you want to do. But I'm not judging that. But what I'm saying is, if you start, marriage is hard enough to keep it together when people are compatible and they're in the game in good faith. But if they're not in the game in good faith, dog, it's doomed. 50% of marriages don't fail anyway. But if you're
Mm-hmm.
starting out without ace, you're starting out with just without honesty and integrity and to do this, I mean, let's be honest. If she was fucking some dude at the job and then and was feeding you, oh, I would never do this because of da, you're a liar. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel.
So that's what you got. This is who you got. You can't. This I was talking about dominoes earlier. You got to play the hand that you got. This is the hand that
Yeah,
you
as
got.
well.
Now, what you're trying to do, I honestly, I wouldn't wait 6 months. I would work on the legal aspect of annulling this immediately, and then I would annul it as quickly as I can because I think you can do it on your own because it's since February. But I would
Mm-hmm.
annul the marriage as quickly as possible. Let her come back and say, I had the marriage annulled. You're not trustworthy, and I'm just not for this. And then see what her response is. At least if you did that, she would know that you're serious. Because what she does do, she doesn't respect you. Why? She doesn't respect you because you haven't been respectable. You're saying that honesty is important to you, right?
I
She's
don't even
lied
respect
both
myself.
times, and you've not told the line on any of that.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you? So I mean, she has no reason to think that she needs to make any adjustments because you have put up with every or what, even though you've stated what your non-negotiables are, you haven't done anything to show her that you're credible. So you're not practicing ace. You feel me?
You know, I feel, what's so crazy is that I have had this conversations multiple times with her, and she's always said, "Yeah, I know, but please give me time and I'll show you." But it keeps happening in different moments. Honestly, I think the phone call was more or less just to hear outside perspective if someone who's per se was your friend was seamless. I
Yeah.
gave her that example too. They'd say, "Yeah, don't, you're done there." Kind of.
Yeah, but it's the thing is, look, it's action. Apologies mean nothing. Actions mean everything. And then I can't for the life of me imagine how this changes when you're married and you're already dealing with this already. You shouldn't have got
Yeah, I know what
married
you're
in the
saying.
first place until you were sure.
Yeah, well,
But
there was
that's
definitely
done.
something involved with it was
I get
involved
it.
with like papers,
All
there
right,
were
well,
things there
I get
involved.
it. I get it. I get it. But whatever the situation is, if the paper situation and papers and whatever it is involved, I don't, I'm no lawyer when it comes to that. So do what you do and do what's best for you. But there's no way in the world that you're gonna be in this situation and that the lies are not gonna continue because you have not only have you allowed this, but you have reinforced lies and deceit in your marriage, and you're married less than 5 months. Okay,
No, I hear you completely.
all
I'll
right,
take
bro.
these consultations, man.
All right,
Thank you
brother.
so much, Rudy.
All right, brother. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. You take care now. Many thanks.
Later. Yeah, that's something that you have to be honest with yourself. Like the authenticity of what I talk about, authenticity is not just telling the truth; it's being honest with yourself. Sterling Borg, thank you for the super chat, $10 super chat. He says, "How can I maintain dignity and self-respect when dealing with the aftermath of being dumped?" Understand this. Somebody dumps you, they doing you a favor. They're doing you a favor because, in essence, somebody is saying, "You ain't good enough. You're not good enough for me." Or, hold on one second. Hold on. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, who am I speaking with? What's your name?
Hey, John. Nice to meet you.
John, what's going on? Where you calling from?
From PA.
Hold on 1 second.
Yep.
Yeah, so Sterling, my point is when somebody breaks up with you, they're doing you a favor because the honesty of it allows you to understand what the geography of the situation is if you so that you can navigate so that you can ultimately navigate whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. If somebody is saying that if you can't let somebody you can't let a woman define you because if you let her define you, it won't be long until you ain't shit. Understand that. So when somebody is saying I'm leaving, what she's saying is that I don't think you're good enough. You're not good enough for my time. And somebody who has the decency and the honesty to tell you that helps you to move on. I don't care, and I want guys to understand this. The nature of relationships is this: that as a man, you got to be the provider, the protector, the person that makes her feel safe. You always make more sacrifices than you get back. But understand, I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that is the nature. That is the nature of relationships. So when somebody says, I don't want to be with you no more, then that's more money in your pocket. That's more time for yourself. It's more energy that you don't have to waste. Anytime you're in a relationship, and anybody that's in a relationship, let me hear it in the thumbs up in the comments. Anybody that's in a relationship in the comments, you will go places you don't want to go. You will have to do things you don't want to have to do. You're going to have to spend money you don't want to have to spend. You're going to have to listen to shit you don't have to listen to. And you're still going to be judged on the fact of what you give and what the true value of who you are, regardless whether or not it's reciprocated. So Sterling, if you're having a rough time, book a consultation, bro. Go to DanteNero.com, click on consult, and we'll get you out of this funk. But she did you a favor, bro. She did you a favor. John, what's going on, bro? How you doing? Calling in from PA. How can I help you?
Oh, it's good, Dante. Yeah, thank you for having me on your call.
Yeah.
So I don't have a girlfriend wife question. I have a work related question, if that's possible.
Yeah, sure.
Real quick.
That works.
So my work related question is I'm a regular blue collar worker working on a factory.
Okay.
And my question is, in your honest opinion, is this sometimes worth arguing or having with like management, with like your superiors, when you're like, I don't want to do this, or this doesn't make sense to me, and then having that back and forth? Because a lot of the times my personality is very passive, and I just kind of do everything, and then if I'm at home or the ride home, the car,
you feel like
man,
shit. You feel like shit about it afterwards.
I run it back in my head. I'm like, maybe I'm just being too nice because I really didn't want to do that thing, but I got it done, and there wasn't any disagreements. But now I feel like when they need something, they always come to me, and it gets annoying after a while because they know I'll be like a yes man about it.
Okay, let me ask you this:
Sure.
is this a job or a career?
This is a job.
Okay,
not a career.
All right, so that's the first thing you gotta. What ultimately would you want to be doing? If you could do whatever it is you wanted to do, what would you be doing?
Right. Probably being my own.
Okay,
probably
stop.
being my own boss,
Stop.
like some type of business.
Stop. Here's my first.
Yep.
Here's my first thing. The fact that I'm asking you that question and you don't have an answer, right? Is a problem, right? Because you're not even you're asking me about a job situation when you don't even have a goal about where you're going. How old are you?
24.
Okay, and I get it because you're young, so I get it. You just want to make money and stuff. But what do you want to do? Figure out what you want to do. See, you got to understand. This is one of my favorite analogies. Is like if you wanna order an Uber, there's two things you got to do. You gotta know what the present location, right, where you're at, and where you want to go. If you don't have those two things, nothing happens, right? It's just a thought. You're in limbo. No Uber's gonna pick you up, and you're not gonna travel to wherever you want to go. So what I think you have to do first and foremost is be able to answer that question. When somebody asks you, What is it? What are your goals? What do you want to do? You should have an answer for that. And if you don't have an answer, to take some time to think about that. Because it seems now there's definitely a situation we could talk about your your job and you being a pushover. If you think you're being a pushover, you're probably being a pushover. We know when we are. But is it in the confines? Is it in the confines of your job? Like if you got a jerk off boss and whatever, and you're in a shitty job, and people are going to ask you to do things, and you're going to have to do it because you got to make ends meet. But when you understand that there's life after this job, or that this is not ultimately what you want to endeavor to do, then this becomes less important. Because the minute you set a destination, right? Like think about this, you realize, okay, this is where I am, right? You know where your current locations. You get in the Uber, you know where you're going, right? You have a general idea. If the Uber driver goes off and makes the wrong turn or something, you go, hey, where you going, right?
Right.
Now, when you have a goal set, right? When you start to do things that are extraneously in the wrong direction, your brain tells you, hey, you know what I'm saying? If you're overweight and you go and eat some cake, you know you ain't supposed to be eating no cake, right? So your conscience puts you back on track. It may not always know specifically what to do, but it knows when first of all, you got to have some goals. And you're 24 years old, which is great because you're young. And if you get this shit together within the next 6 months, right, Doug, what you want to achieve is limitless. You can make your life look whatever you want to make it look like in the next couple of years. Secondly, you know your emotions. Trust your emotions. If there's something that you think is uncomfortable, you don't have to have an argument, but you can say, this is. Look, I'm here. You're my boss. I'm not going to be insubordinate, but I just think that this is inconsistent and this is unfair. Is it a union job or is it just a regular job? Just where they could tell you?
Yeah, it's a union job.
Okay, so you have union representation. Are they doing anything that violates the contract?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Are they doing anything that violates the contract?
No. They're not doing anything that violates.
Give me an example. Give me an example of what you're talking about.
Sometimes it could be something as simple as like a workload that isn't part of like my job. Hey, can you handle that? I was like, oh, how come the shift before us didn't handle that? Or the guy before me didn't handle it? Why am I doing this person's cleanup or something like that? Or why am I doing this over here?
Yeah, but you're not the boss. Like if you want to be a boss and you want to tell people what they need to do, then you need to work to become a boss. Mm-hmm. You feel me?
Right.
If you're not a boss, you don't get to be a boss.
If you're not a boss, you don't get to be a boss, right?
If what they're asking you to do, you're gonna put eight hours in, right? You gotta put in 8 hours in, whether you're cleaning, whether you're doing your regular job, whatever. If this is just a job. Now, if it's a career or if this is something that you're endeavoring to do and it's taking you, then I think it's worth the fight. But if somebody tells you to sweep the floor and it's not look, and we're talking about you have a union, right? So there's certain things, like I was a union rep for 20 years, is why I know. There's certain things just not my work. And if somebody asks me,
I can bring it up to the union, right?
Yeah, you can say this is not my work. I'm not doing it. But you could also say I'm not. You don't even have to argue when you just go to the union and you say, listen, this is not my work. He's trying to get me to do. Mm-hmm. And when you bring people up, up in front of other people, all of a sudden people act differently. But you also create a situation where now, somebody might put you in their crosshairs because you're not doing what they want you to do. But that means you got to show up on time. You got to be there till the end. You got to punch out when you got to punch out. You got to do if he tells you what to do, you do it. And so but when you're not in control of your situation, it's a job. You got to treat it like a job. But you shouldn't be in a situation when you're upsetting yourself about something that doesn't even matter to you. Like this job doesn't matter to you. It's just a mean to pay your bills. Why would you upset? Put your time, energy, and your focus on something that matters. And if you don't know what matters, figure it out. Take a second to figure out what matters.
Yeah, that's great advice. I didn't think of it that way. Like I'm just like stressing over like the
Yeah, you get
excuse my
caught
French,
up in the
but like the
minutia
stupid
of
shit.
some bullshit that you don't
Yeah.
even give a fuck about.
Right. Like it ain't the big deal. It ain't the end of the world. It's not like a hill worth dying on.
Yeah, I mean, like you don't want your ego. That's another thing with your ego. You don't want your ego to get you to, write checks that you can't. I mean, it's a job. If it's a career, if there's an endeavor, if you're trying to take steps to better yourself or be the best version of yourself, that's something that you should be doing anyway. Okay?
Yeah, I appreciate you, Dante.
All right. Makes sense, right?
Thank you, Sam.
All right. Easy, bro. Later.
Bye.
It's always interests me how all of the principles come under these same three principles: authenticity, credibility, and empathy. The things that it doesn't apply to, I try to be thoughtful about. I try to be thoughtful about how it relates, and so you can see. Let me see. Ego Lift. What did he say? Ego Lift said. What did he say? He was talking about the caller before. He says, "Yet man is clouded with emotions and having self-deception and have habitual lying." Lying can't stop lying. Of course she can't. I mean, this is what we know it is. I mean, it's never a situation was somebody said Romania. She's definitely cheating. Y'all ain't shit. God damn. Here's the thing. Very true. Probably. Let me go. I'm just going through the comments real good. The phone lines are open. Let me put that up real quick. In a hurry. Real quick, let me just say this real quick. Don't forget the Patreon. I do a Patreon. It helps, it's the way I earn money monthly doing this, paying for the equipment and the programs and the editing and stuff like that. So if y'all really want some bonus content, technique, and extra game, you can go to patreon.com/manschool202. And you can sign up for the Patreon. We do a whole another half hour of recorded of technique and game on that, where we there's a whole family out there that is down. Well, shout out to all the Patreon people that support us and whatnot. So patreon.com. Who am I speaking with? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's good, Dante? This is Brody from Cali.
What up, Cat? How you doing? You said Barry?
Oh man, I'm cool. This is Brody.
Brody, what up, Brody? What's going on?
Oh man, just like in a situation, been dealing with. I'm not in a relationship, but I've been dealing with like my ex, and just
come on, Brody. Let's get it.
Different.
Okay.
I feel you. It's been different, man.
Different how?
Different. Like we had a rapport, like before we got in a relationship. To where like, it was whatever it was, with no strings attached.
Okay.
And then we fast forward 10 years, to where, we're grown up and, we want to approach a relationship with credibility intact and, want to do that and just seeing like, or experience rather, faults or, her lying, being dishonest.
Okay, so you didn't have this problem when y'all were just, friends with benefits, doing whatever. All of a sudden you started to move into where you want to be in a relationship. That went up and then all the lies and stuff started coming about.
Correct.
Let me ask you this. Who said they wanted the relationship? You or her?
She did.
She said she wanted a relationship.
Yes.
She was like, I'm tired of this, let's do this. And then what was the first sign that she was being deceptive?
Just like her not being honest about her children's father. Like,
what about her children's father?
Him living with her.
So he was living with her and you didn't know she was living with her. So the whole time that you were friends with benefit, it wasn't your concern. So whatever happened, right, y'all would just rendezvous at your crib or at the telly or whatever. And then when she said she wanted this relationship and her husband her baby's father's living with her.
Correct.
Now it's her place or his place or he living with
That's her
her.
place. No, it's her. It's her. He's living with her.
Have you ever been to her place?
Yeah.
And how did you not know? Oh, this happened more recently.
He wasn't. He wasn't there. He wasn't there when I was there. Of course.
Okay.
You know.
But I mean, did you know he was coming through? Was he in the picture? What was the deal?
I knew he was in the picture. I didn't. She told me. I basically, before we got into a relationship, you know what I'm saying. I told her like, yo, clear the runway, get all the bullshit out the way, because I'm cooling. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm good with it the way it is.
I got a baby moms too. Yeah.
Right.
You know, like let's keep it a buck.
Right.
You know what I mean? And she said that, no, I'm cool. Like, I got the runway cleared. And I asked this shit like multiple times.
Right.
When I say multiple times, more than 5 times.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You got the runway clear. Like, you know, where we at? No, it's clear. Okay. You know, and then I began to proceed.
Now, do you think that the baby's father recently got moved in there, whatever, or do you think it was always that case that she was just hiding?
I think this is what happened. Like when we got reconnected, like I said, it was a 10-year gap. When we got reconnected, he was already living with her. You know what I mean?
And she was like, the runway is. She was like, I got all my ducks in a row, and then she, dog, you know what the answer is. You gotta get out. You gotta get out. You gotta get out. Come on. You know what it is. I mean, if somebody's bold-faced telling you something that's not, there's no. I mean, that doesn't change. Don't get me wrong. I look. Let's be honest. I mean, and everybody in the chat, guys, and everything is. I mean, we only lie to the ones that we care about. You know, if you got an ugly chick who is got an eye in the middle of her forehead, she says, well, I live in you go, what about your girl? You be like, what about my girl? Mind your goddamn business. You go, yo, I'm leaving. She go, where you going? I'm going to the moon. I'll see you when I get back. Okay, if she's ugly enough, she'll be like, you be careful. You know? It's it's interesting. You know, but if you got somebody who's on, like, first thing I was gonna ask you if you were like, yo, let's get up and get it, because I tell dudes never be the guy who asks for the relationship, because I don't never know a woman who is in a situation where she wants something and she's not clear about what she wants. Mm-hmm. So, but when you're asking and she's like, well, I didn't really think about it, because if she didn't think about it, she don't see you that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that women are very decisive. The person who they want, they know they want them. It's a gut feeling.
Facts.
Yeah. And
but, I mean,
go ahead.
I plowed through the stop signs. You feel me? Like, for sure, that was a clear stop sign.
Okay, right.
I plowed through the stop signs. You know, however many months afterwards, she got him out of there, but he just came around disrespectfully. You know, we ended up into altercation.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, this is crazy.
I had to handle him.
This is trash.
That's what I'm saying. Right.
This is trash. This is all trash. Doug, how old are you, bro?
I'm 35.
Yeah, there's no way why you should have to handle somebody, and she should be handling him. She should feel as though that there's no place. And if she's it sounds like she's yo, shout out to Indira. Thanks for being in the chat, babe. I appreciate you for coming in. But if you like, I would never run up on some, especially it's her baby father. Like what? I mean, you already in the mix, dog. It's already filthy. You know what I mean? This is already dead. I used to say, you know, I whenever an ink pen starts leaking, you know, throw it out, because it's only a matter of time till you're gonna mess up your linen suit. You know what I mean? Ink gets everywhere. So once it starts getting messy, you know it's gonna be messy. You gotta remove yourself from it. And at 35, you're at a point where you need to preserve your peace. And if this situation, if you're with a, and this is for women, men, otherwise, preserve your peace. If somebody's not interested in maintaining your peace and your peace of mind and your basic status of where you're at, or they're adding crap to it, get rid of them. It ain't gonna get better. It's only gonna get worse.
Facts.
So
That's facts.
chances are she might be sleeping with him on the low, and if she's not sleeping with him, he's cracking every chance he gets. So all she got to do is drink too much box wine or something, and then it'll be you. This is a mess, dog. Go get you somebody who don't, who don't have all this baggage in the first place. And then what you have to do is set the boundaries up so that as soon as those boundaries are violated, you got to step. Part of the credibility is setting the boundaries and then being implicit about not crossing those. I say relationships are very easy. You got to know what your non-negotiables are and then never negotiate them. And that means that any women in the chat, if you say that monogamy is important to you, then monogamy has to be important. That means when the dude cheats or he steps out, you got to step off. Now, I'm not saying that people don't make mistakes, and like I said, two things you'll always have to do is give forgiveness and get forgiveness. But we also got to know when people's constitution shows who they are, and their constitution is in a negative way where they're showing you, this is who I am, and then you ignore it and you just keep plowing through. Why? Probably because it's, you might have feelings, which is, what do we say about that? Never let emotions have a seat at the table. This is the interesting thing about the concepts that I've created in general. If you just keep repeating the same concepts and the same principles over and over, it always brings you back due north. You're always back on track. There's nothing wrong with you. We're human beings, so we fall off track and we fall off. But if we keep these principles in check, truth, credibility, empathy, reasonable, fair, and firm, never let emotion have a seat at the table, know what your non-negotiables are, it will always bring you back due north,
That's right. And that's where I fell astray at, letting emotion have a seat at the table.
Yeah. I get it, dog. I forgive you.
Yeah.
I forgive you.
I got to forgive myself now.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. That's
Yeah.
most important. That you're in a position where you can forgive yourself, and you don't beat yourself up. So it's like what Borg. What's the brother name that did this, the chat? It's like he's talking about a breakup, and there it is. In the chat, Sterling Borg, like he's beating himself up because he broke up with somebody. She did you a favor, dog. She's opened the door up for you to find people who are of the caliber, who are smart enough to know that what you have to offer is way more valuable than anything that they have. You feel me?
That's facts.
Forgive yourself, bro.
That's big facts. For sure. I appreciate you, Doctor.
All right, family. Easy.
All right. Later.
Let me put the number up. Yeah, don't forget the Patreon, y'all. If y'all get a chance, check out the Patreon. There's a whole bunch of content. I've been doing content, videos and stuff like that, and all the archive, Beige Phillip, Black Phillip, Man School, all the stuff, all the interviews and everything is on the archive on the patreon.com/manschool202. You have access to me. I whatever questions you send me on that one, I get them immediately. But I'm trying to make myself accessible. We're doing the lives twice a week. It's an open forum. We're cutting up. I'm on multiple platforms now. We started going on. Anybody's on Twitch or Kick or Instagram or Twitter or X or YouTube or Facebook. We're on everything. I'm trying to start this movement, man. It's sad. Every time I watch these clowns, giving advice with no real idea of what they're talking about. It's just crazy to me. It's just, and the fact that people are making this kind of dough, giving people horrible advice, with no sense of no sense of shame. Like you don't know what the fuck you talking about. You know you tricking. I was talking about this whole thing. I'm getting ready to do a video on the whole Kendrick Kendrick Drake thing. You know what the whole problem with all those dudes is? They're all fucking the same 50 girls. They're all these dudes is got money and access and got no game and no confidence. It's all fraudulent alpha male bravado about dudes trying to say that they're something that they're not. And the reality is that then when you're caught up lying, and then you know and you get with some chick and she can smell the bitch on you, because dog, women are intuitive. They have to be. Genetically they're intuitive. It's part of their safety. So they smell the bitch on you, and then you know, I just did a video about academics, DJ Academics, and he's texted chick 50 times in a row. And her response is, "You're a clown." Like, you're like, man. I mean, as much as I think this dude is a clown, but I mean, we've all been in that situation. We've all been in that situation where somebody's giving you the business and you don't know how to get out of that. You're in your emotions and you don't know how to move forward. You're hurt and you're in pain and it's emotional, and you can't even think straight. And then you can't get out of it. You just stuck. It's crazy. And I feel like I've been in that situation. I mean, I know people think, that I'm ice cold, but you learn how to be ice cold through practice. It's not that I don't have emotions. It's just that I'm not willing to make decisions that are going to be worse for my condition. I'm just not going to do that. I can't do that. I can't allow that. And I'm trying to teach y'all not to do that. I get it. Emotions is hard. This is the thing. This was my main problem with Kevin Samuels, because Kevin Samuels has always been a situation where he's sanitized the relationship as if it's just a business deal. No, it ain't, clown. Stop. I respect Kevin Samuels because a lot of the stuff that he said was true, and it was in the context of facts and reasoning. But Doug, that's not how people hook up. It's not just a business transaction. There's feelings there. The guy, the so-called high value man or whatever the fuck he talking about. Them dudes get pimped just like anybody else. Look at Diddy. Diddy had all the money in the world, but he was hiring goons to chase Cassie around to make sure that she wasn't giving nobody no neck in the studio. It was ridiculous. All the Bentleys, all the G-Wagons, all the Maybachs, and you still scared that the minute your woman gets out of your sight, she's going to do some dirt. It's crazy. I mean, fucking Carmelo Anthony marries Lala, 20-something years old. He married a vintage, a vintage hottie, married. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, man. I think the narrative of the fact that we're talking about this as if men and women are at odds. We're not at odds. There is there's no shortage of people getting together. It's weird because on the internet is funny because in one breath, the internet is saying men and women are at odds. Men hate women. Men can't say nothing. Women won't do that, whatever, right? Meantime, everybody on the other channel, people are talking about Bill Gates is trying to kill people. Bill Gates is trying to change the narrative so that we to control the farm food so that we can reduce the population because there's not enough going to be. Like, which is it? Like, these things contradict themselves. It's all connected. I mean, it's interesting. What I think is dope about what's happening with, doing the lives and talking to the people is I can get a dude like a dude that calls me up about his job Do you know what I mean? Like I can talk to a dude who wants it ain't about a chick because it's all relative. I mean, it's just like I was saying in Cypher Sounds. The problem he has with women is the same problem he has with dominoes. Like who would even think that, and who has the intuitiveness to see the connection of the two? That it's all the same. That everything is filtered through whatever you're doing. Like who you are is who you are, and if you want to change who you are, you got to make an effort for that. Jonathan, Cleofat, what's going on, bro? Thank you for the super chat. He says, let me put this up. Put the super chat up. Jonathan Cleofat, facts. This show is dope as fuck. Thank you, man. Tell a friend. Please, when I'm on, yo, do me a favor, man. Share it. Share it with your friends. See what we doing here so we can really show what these dudes is, what's really going on. So because I'm one of the reasons why man, I'm gonna put that up too. Shit. If Kim Kardashian, from Kanye to Pete, tells everything you need to know. And understand this, I don't know if y'all know that, but I'm the one that trained Pete Davidson. I walked Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson used to call me his dad. That was his dad. I walked him through his virginity. Pete used to have me on Steve. I used to have Pete on my phone, his old phone number. I had him because he was a young kid who was doing comedy early on. I saw him won a contest, and he was like, "Yo, could you be my dad?" And I was like, "Sure." It's like, come on, man, I got you. Taught him how to. Anytime he had a problem with a girl or something, Pete had me on speed dial. He don't really take my calls no more. I'm not saying he wouldn't. I'm just saying we just don't run in the same circles. And I don't get mad at that. Why? The reason why I don't get mad at that is because Bill Burr gave him nothing as far as Bill Burr is having his own problems in his house. So y'all bugging. Bill Burr was never a dude that had game. Bill Burr is an honest, funny dude, but was never a dude that had game. Bill Burr hooked up with Nia early on in the game, and he's been with her ever since. So I'm not letting nobody take my I'm not letting nobody take my my credit. Bill Burr did not give Pete Davidson no game. I gave him the game. And if y'all go on the Patreon, where's it at? The Patreon is patreon.com. Where's it at? There it is. Patreon.com. I have actually the old episodes of when we interviewed Pete when Pete was a young dude. He actually is in the old his soundbite. Dante knows what he's doing. He's one of the old songs we use for the thing. So that's just not true. Bill Burr had nothing to do with it. What happens is Bill Burr is an honest dude, and he's learned to be more honest than anything, which through his own profession, he's learned that from Patrice. That's why Bill Burr's comedy is so amazing, is because he's honest. He's true to himself. But, so I'm not going to let nobody take my props. It ain't true. But yeah, this endless dudes who I've talked to, and people, a lot of times people ask me, well, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about these? I mean, because Kevin Samuels used to quote Black Phillip. I mean, he didn't quote me because I wasn't the bigger guy, but he used to quote Patrice all the time, and he used to talk about Black Phillip all the time. And so it's like, it's weird, man. It's weird. But what I realize is this something is that even when you practice ACE, that I practice it. I mean, like, I'm not asking y'all to do things that I wouldn't do myself. Everything that I do, I practice it myself. And sometimes I fall off. Phone numbers up, 929-269-4922. I think I'm going to do one more call and we shut it down. I know y'all. Hope you guys did something for your moms and appreciate your moms and called them up and told them how dope they are, or told them how they ain't shit if they screwed you up. That's acceptable. for me as well. But I think also we have to understand too that we got one call. Yeah, let's do one more and then I'm out of here, man. I'm a little sleepy too. I got some reading to do. There's at least, oh, I hope that comes up. Yeah. There we go. Let's see. Hello? Who am I talking to? Where you
Hello?
calling from? Hey, who am I speaking with?
Hey, man, it's Logan. I'm calling from California.
What's going on, Logan? How you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. It's so cool to hear your voice. I've been, listening to you, mainly you and Patrice, for ever since I graduated high school, so almost 5 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Y'all making me feel old, man. I mean, 5 years ago is not bad, man, because I don't know if you know how old those shows are. Those shows were 2006 we did those shows.
No, yeah, I was a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can I help you, Logan? What's going on?
Hey, man, I was just, I wanted to ask about phone game. I feel like I'm really good when I'm talking to people in person, but over the phone, like just texting, it's just very foreign to me. I'm really, even though I'm youngish, like, I'm just terrible over the phone. So I wanted to get some advice. What do you think?
Okay, so when you say you have problems on the phone, what are the problems? Let's start with that. What are we talking about? What do you find difficult?
I guess just getting things started. Like, I don't know, like saying, hey, how many lives should I put? Kind of things like that.
Wait, with text messaging? You're saying with text messaging or phone calls?
Mainly with text messaging. And phone calls I work great on. Like in person, like I'm able to read people. I love like analyzing people.
Okay.
So it's just the texting part.
All right, let me ask you this. Do you know what I say? I mean, you've been listening. Have you been listening to the lives and stuff that we've been doing or not really? Have you followed Man School or are you like the Old Testament, mostly Black Phillip?
A lot of Old Testament. I just started listening to the live streams now.
Okay.
So.
All right. So one of the things that I say about texting all the time is stop texting. And I don't mean you can't. I mean, I understand that texting is there's an aspect of texting, especially a lot of younger girls, they text is something that women do, and they'll say, I don't talk on the phone. Here's my thing. Ultimately, how old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay, at 23, you trying to use somebody as a dick cozy. You know what I mean? Like you trying to get it in, trying to put your numbers up. I mean, that's what you do at 23, unless I'm wrong. Here's what you have to understand something. If you ultimately want to be intimate with a young lady, right? If you want to have sex and be intimate, right? How do you propose that somebody's going to allow you to have sex with them in the physical world, right? If they won't talk to you on the phone. Like, let's be honest. Text messaging is the epitome of communication with, you can prepare each text. You don't always know the context of how people are saying things or how people are doing things. Phone call is the next most intimate, is the fact that you're talking to somebody, you can hear their voice, you can hear the inflection of their voice, so you get more information. And ultimately, going out with somebody and talking to somebody face to face is more intimate. Anything more intimate than talking to somebody is putting a D in a P. You know what I mean? So, But here's the thing: if you can't get somebody to talk to you on the phone, how do you get somebody to let you put the D in the P? Like it's a ridiculous. I mean, so logically, conceptually, it doesn't make any sense for some woman to say, I'm not going to talk on the phone. And even at 23, and I know this is a difficult thing because you're at that age where women don't talk on the phone. But here's something that would be sexy as fuck if you said, listen, I appreciate the fact that you don't like talking on the phone, but I don't really converse with people unless they pick up the phone.
Yeah, okay, I like that.
And okay, let's do this since this is the last call of the night, right? If you be the girl, I'll be the guy. I go, listen, I respect the fact that you don't like talking on the phone, but I can't really gauge who you are as a person by your text message. And so I totally get if that's the only way you communicate, but if that's the only way, I'm just really not interested. What do you think she would say?
I don't know. I don't know. I think she'd probably be interested in talking.
Why do you think?
For sure over the
why do
phone.
you think she would be more interested in talking?
Well, just because of how upfront you were. If you were just kind of beating around the bush, being like,
right. So because because in order for you to have an opinion, right, and to speak your opinion, you have to have a certain level of confidence that says, I have this opinion and I'm not going to budge this. And if you're not willing to meet me at this, there's no hard feelings, but I'll just move on and I'll deal with somebody who's willing to meet me.
Mm-hmm.
Now.
Yeah. Do you think there's like, should be, I don't ask the question. Do you think that there is though, like the habit of like texting, like being able to like text well? Is there anything like that, or is it just like automatic?
I mean, your texting should be minimal. You know,
okay.
Your texting should be minimal because of the fact that, like, you're just never gonna know the context of what somebody's saying when they're texting. I mean, how many times are we in a situation where you text somebody and then they get the wrong idea?
Oh yeah, many times.
And people get it but even it's just like when somebody says, you're talking to a girl, she says, you can take my Instagram. This is ways in which they're creating obstacles for you to get to know them, right? So she's saying, I mean, Instagram, take my Instagram instead of me giving you my number. Then your number. Then I don't text you. Then I don't pick up the phone. But if your goal is, you say, listen, I clearly I'm attracted to you. I mean, you do understand that I'm attracted to you, right? She'll go, yes. You go, then why would we be? Why would I continue to talk to you if you're not interested in getting to know who I am as much as I'm interested in getting to know who you are? I mean, you don't know how pussies get wet when you just say what you think, because what you're ultimately saying to a woman is, I have thoughts, I have value, and the things, my comfort and my value is important to me. I'm not just willing to be some kind of flunky for you, right?
Right.
And because I'm not willing to just let you set the parameters, and I'm not saying you can't be you can't be respectful of parameters, but ultimately I'm not negotiating my non-negotiables.
Right.
So I mean, this came obvious to me literally in the last 6 months. I had no idea that guys were not talking to girls on the phone. They were on the apps. They were hitting them on the apps, blah, blah, blah. And then the only time they would speak to them is before the date.
Yeah, yeah.
Weird to me.
It's so weird. That's what it's like. I'm at college right now, and that's what it's like. All my friends are using Snapchat, and that's how I hate that. I do not like that. I love your method. That's how I do it. I love just like trying to get into meeting in person. Like, let's go out, let's do something. Let's
let me get to know you because you also should be saying, I don't know if I like you. Yeah, I'm attracted to you, but I'm not sure if you're good enough for me.
Right.
Now, the minute a woman feels that energy where it's like, listen, the jury is out. I'm not sure if I like you. Now, this is where pickup artists and guys who teach game, they would tell you, neg a girl, you neg her, and you tell her, to tell her she's not as pretty and da-da-da-da-da-da. But what happens is, if deep down she is pretty enough, right? If deep down she is all those things that you wish she was, right? Eventually you're going to get exposed. So this is what happens more over than not all the time. This is what happens where we get into a situation where we're being disingenuous about who we are. Then when we get exposed about who we are, then we run around trying to cover it up. It's like, no disrespect to my man, just married some chick who's lying to him the whole time. He marries her as if he didn't know she was lying. And then she's in Romania, another country, doing God knows what. And he's like, well, I think, come on, dog. I mean, we have to be honest about, we are responsible for the decisions that we make. And when we start being responsible for the decisions that we make up front, right, it clears out all the bullshit. I say this 100 times a show. My honesty sharpens your truth. I'm going to be so honest, right? That if you're a liar and you're deceptive, you will be exposed. I promise you will be exposed because you're going to say something that don't sound right. And I'm going to say, what do you mean by that? I mean,
Right.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
yeah.
long you've been listening to the lives, but shout out to the comments. Put the thumbs up if I'm lying. How many times? How many times have I screamed somebody out on the live? Somebody's you know, somebody who comes on my live and telling me stories and it don't add up. I'm like, wait a minute. So you was what? She was honest the whole time? You never got no, like, come on, never? And now she's blowing some other dude? Like, you gotta explain that to me more. So when I start asking questions, you delve into it and you see, and my intention is not to embarrass, right? My intention is to get to the truth because if you don't get to the truth, you can't fix the problem. Understand this, man. It didn't all work out for me all the time. Dog, y'all know my story. I'm open and honest. My son is in England. I mean, by the way, anybody out in the UK that's listening, I'm going out to England the 26th. I'll be flying out there. I'll be out there. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do the lives from out there, but we might have a little break because I'll be out there spending time with my son, but I'll post something to make sure that y'all are aware of it. 26th to late June. Early June, I'll be out there going to spend time with my little man. He wants to go horseback riding, so I'm about that. I haven't done that in a while. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, in essence, it's like am I lying in the chat? Somebody comes in on some on some bullshit, and I be like, nah, son, something's missing. Something is missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're right. And somebody in the chat, they talking about FaceTime too. Get the FaceTime, see your face. Let's talk about it. That's how I mean. There's a whole there's a whole show called Catfish where some dude is sending you pictures of somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
Playing with a
That's so
gooch.
real.
Some dudes. Some chubby dude is in the basement catfishing y'all because y'all want to believe
some AI pictures.
The only way you get that, only way you get talk like that is when you believe something that you don't think that you're worthy. It's worthy of it. I got to put this. Here's something that's funny. I got to put this up real quick. What you call it? Joker Man Uno says, that's funny because it looked like Bill Burr's got his own problems in his own home. Yes, he does. His whole comedy is about his problems and how he don't have control over his situation. Somebody telling me, don't never say somebody, man, don't piss me off. But what I'm saying is, but the text message should be clear, concise, right? And direct, and you should also be trying to move off of text message to get to the phone call, to get to the FaceTime, to get to the date where you see somebody. Because how about this? There comes a time, if y'all keep doing what I'm telling you to do, you're going to have options. I promise you.
Yeah.
I know some of the dudes who don't have options don't believe me, and guys who do the consultations with me. I'm going to put the consultations of consultations. I've helped thousands of dudes with situations. I mean, y'all hear me doing it on here now. Y'all hear me doing it, DanteNero.com. Click on consult. Y'all know how we do it. You'll hear me doing it on the fly. I'm changing people's perspectives on live while we're talking on the phone. I'm doing it on the fly. Who else does that? Kevin Samuels used to just shit on people for a half hour. 14,000 people shitting on people.
I am so thankful for what you're doing, man. I mean, I was listening to it a couple of days ago, and I don't know how old the kid was, but he was like, it sounded just awful. It sounded terrible, just like beaten down, broken, and you're being super honest with him and straight with him, and man, I just, what you're doing is amazing. I'm just very thankful. I'm thankful for it. And I know everyone watching and people who are going to start watching here pretty soon are going to be thankful for it.
I hope so, man. I hope this. I think we need this. We need somebody to kind of heal this because it's crazy. It's just really, and all these snake oil salesmen and the people that talk about it, just simps running the internet and just lying is. I'm like, man, I it just and the thing is, much as I ain't gonna lie, man, I want some money. You know what I mean? I want some money. I want to get paid for what I do. But let's be honest, dog. Let's be honest, man. I feel for people. I mean, y'all know. I there's no way that you can listen to what I do and not know that I give a fuck. I care. I mean, it's nothing worse than seeing a woman being treated like trash or a man being broken to nothing where he doesn't even think he has no value.
Right.
This is a horrible thing. It's a horrible, horrible thing. And you could do better. You could spend if I could spend my life lifting people up, why wouldn't I do that? At least when I close my eyes with the intention of knowing I made a difference. What else could you want for that?
Yeah.
It's a one-on-one consultations. Go to DanteNero.com, click on consult. You can do it once. If y'all want to cash out me, here's the cash app, y'all. If you think I helped you, you want to support the show, cash out me at $ Dante Nero. Y'all can also sign up for the Patreon. There's that, man. And so just before we close out, my man, just you want to move to you want to escalate so that it's more intimate. So if it's social media, the text message to phone calls to date. If you can't go phone calls to date, FaceTime to phone calls to date, and then get somebody. I mean, if you wanna, you wanna get some gooch, I don't see how you do it. You don't want to talk to me. You don't want to talk to me, but you're gonna kiss me.
Right.
Don't even does that even sound like it's reasonable?
No, it's like wasting my time.
Yeah,
I like my time. I'm not gonna waste it.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I want y'all to do better, man. Thanks for calling in, man. Tell a friend, man. Get somebody to listen, please.
Will do, man. I'm trying. It's hard work for people. People don't like hearing the truth.
Yeah.
Guys don't like. Guys like,
Yeah.
They like thinking that it's like getting their mom.
Everybody want to go to heaven. Nobody don't want to die though. Don't work that way, dog. Anything worth something.
Well, thank you so much, man.
Anything worth something is worth a just sacrifice. Thank you, man. I appreciate you calling in, bro.
No problem. Thank you. Bye-bye.
That was a dope call. Appreciate that. That was dope. Let me just pop something up on the screen real quick, fast, in a hurry. I am working on. I am now working on. Let me see. Where's it? Let me see if this is it. Yeah. Let me put this up. Y'all can see this real quick. This is the advertisement. Like, comment, subscribe, share it. Y'all make sure y'all put the notify me in. Coming soon is my podcast. A new podcast I'm doing is called Unsurrected. It's politically based podcast that I'm trying to do. It's another love of mine, and I think somebody needs to do something. So I've decided to do that. Look for that. I'm trying to start that by June. So look out for that as well. If anybody who's into the politics, I'll be starting a whole new channel up for that. And I appreciate y'all. Man, I love y'all, man. I do. I really, really do. It's a dope. I love the whole thing. TYBB gets the balls back. WWDD, what would Dante do? Sexual Revolution podcast, man. I love y'all. Peace.